For the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the PopCulturists PlayStation Podcast. With 40 years of playing PlayStation and 10 plus years that gives me the I want to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, come and check out our socials. Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and X. Fucking dumb. All of those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/popcultures where you watch and record the show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you can watch us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. Hot. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/popcultures, as well as our merchandise store, popcultures.com/shop, where you can buy shirts, other assorted shit with our logos on it. You're not impressed with the X, Max? X not gonna give it to you?
No, it's fucking dumb. Fucking dumb.
Well, give more than that. Give us a reason. Why is it dumb?
No, this is dumb. This is dumb. It's almost as irritating to me as all these people who keep saying Twitter is dead, yet continuously post all their shit only on Twitter because they know none of the other platforms are ever going to fucking take off.
Well, yeah, I do. Okay, so I'm sure everyone knows what's going on with the whole X and Twitter, right? But no, I do love that everyone's like, fuck Twitter, I'm out of here, I'm going to Threads, and then like they're still around. Everyone's around. I haven't even bothered getting like a Threads or getting anything because I know I'm probably not going to use it. And like, you know, I suck at Twitter or X. I suck at X. So like, why would I want to go to another platform and be sucky there too? I just don't care. Just can't care. It's a problem. But yeah, all the X and the changes and the threads and what were the other ones? There was, what was it called?
For what? Sorry. What are we talking about?
What was the other one called? Sky Blue?
Sky Blue?
Sky Blue. Yeah, Sky Blue is the other one they wanted, but...
Vodka?
Wait, no, it's not Sky Blue then. What was the other fucking Twitter battler?
I think it was Blue Sky, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Blue Sky.
Blue Sky? I don't know. Ask Padge.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
Blue Sky. Yeah, we didn't get no fancy speak. It's the invite only, so there's already a problem. So it's just a wank fest. You know, Twitter's already pretty much a good wank fest, but like if you make it exclusive, like invites only, you're gonna jerk the owner of the same people. So that's fun. Good times.
Yeah.
Like Twitter's a dumpster fire, but like, okay, that's it. No, there's actually nothing else. It's just, no, they're a dumpster fire. That's the most accurate description.
But people are still using it and it kind of still works.
Yeah, it does fine. Speaking of fine, how's your week been?
Not fine. Not fine at all. My kid's had this fucking gnarly viral infection, so she's been up all night, every night. Monday morning at work, I'm thinking about like 3 o'clock in the morning, my wife messaged me, she's like, hey, your kid's popped a temperature of 39.1. I'm like, oh, cool. We've only got one car at the moment, so I'm like, do I need to come home type thing? She's like, look, I've given her some Panadol. We should be able to ride it out. Her temperature dropped. It was fun. Next night, same thing happened. I'm like, Wednesday night, no fever. But my wife was like, I need to get a decent night's sleep. I'm like, I'll take Thursday off work then. So I rang my boss Wednesday afternoon and said, look, this is the situation. Explained it. I'm like, look, I know it's short notice. I gave them like 9 hours notice. It wasn't like short notice, but to get someone to work an overnight shift can't like 9 hours.
Yes, for an overnight shift, that is incredibly close.
It's fairly short notice. So I said, look, I can help you guys out. Let me work one of the shifts, get someone else to cover my other shift. Let me work from 6 o'clock in the night till 9 p.m.
Yep.
Then I can be home at night. I can help out. So at about 1 o'clock in the morning, Hadley woke up. She wanted me. I climbed into bed with her. I spent maybe 2 hours in there, and then she's just like, I just want fucking mum. Like, just get me, like, just get away from me. So she had climbed out, went up to bed with her mum. So I felt like I took the night off for nothing. I feel like the whole point of me staying at home was so Ali could get a decent night of rest.
That's how kids work, man. The amount of times that, like, you know, you
Oh,
take
yeah.
a day off so they don't go to kinder or school or daycare, and they're like, I'm sick, and then they're fine somehow.
So on the Thursday, I took her to the doctors. I called her doctor to see if I could get her into a GP, and the receptionist's like, oh, her GP's actually out of the country at the moment. We recommend you to go to the Priority Personal Care Clinic in Belmont. I'm like, okay. So we went there. Mind you, Hadley's been coughing all day nonstop, like fucking gnarly chest bark. Horrible. We get to the doctor's
Cigarette
office.
smoking level coughs, are you
We
talking?
get to the fucking doctor's office for the hour and a half we were there. Not a single cough. No, all of her symptoms just fucking disappeared. Doctor listens to her chest. He's like, there's no wheezing,
It's
there's
fine.
no raspiness. Like, he's like, it's fine. She probably has a viral infection. If it gets worse, come back and see us.
Isn't that amazing? They're like,
Okay.
look, your kids worked you for 3
Right,
days.
cool. No worries. Get her home. As soon as she gets in the car, fucking coughing again, like piece of shit. The next night, the coughing got so bad that she started fucking choking and throwing up. And we're like, okay, that's not okay. This is their definition of getting worse. I got her in the car, driving back to the clinic. I called them because they close at 9. It was about 8:15 when I called them. Like, I'm on my way. She's like, oh, nah, sorry. Our last appointment's at 8:30 and the doctor's called at capacity. Don't come in. We won't see you. This is a Priority Personal Care Center that's part of, like, Barwon Health's emergency system. So I call Ali, drove home, like, call, doctor's on call. We'll get a doctor to come out to the house. Like, whatever, fuck it. They don't service our area.
What? Fuck.
So I'm like, the only option that we have left to us is an emergency room. Now we've got two choices. We go the public route and go to fucking Geelong Hospital, wait 8 hours and do fuck all. Or we pay $300 and we go to the Epworth. So we paid $300 and went to the Epworth. The doctor's like, she's not really and mind you, didn't fucking cough at all while we were in the hospital. Piece of shit. Catfished the shit out of me. All she wanted the doctor to do was put what she referred to as the little crocodile on her finger so she could fucking see her oxygen levels and her heart rate. She thought it was the best thing ever. And then the doctor's like, from what you're telling me, it sounds like it is a viral infection. It's not so bad that she needs antibiotics, but what I can do is I can give her some steroids to help clear her airways in her throat so she's less prone to cough. I'm like, cool, let's do that. He's like, the catch is she'll be on steroids so she won't fucking sleep. And this is at like 11:30 at night. I'm like, all right, cool, let's fucking do it.
I'll give it to her in the morning, sure.
So he gave her a dose on the way out of the hospital, and he said, here's the prescription, give it to her for the next 3 days in the morning. I'm like, okay, cool. So we get her home, and Ali's like, I'm fucking tired, I'm going to bed. I'm like, cool, just put Hadley in bed, leave the iPad on, she could fucking watch TV until she falls asleep. I went in about 45 minutes later, and she's like, fucking snoring, so I'm like, sweet. Go turn everything off. But, steroids make you worse before you get better. So when she got back in the car, fucking coughing her lungs up again. And then she's just yelling at us, the medicine's not working. You told me it was going to make me feel better. I feel worse. I'm leaving. And she's just had this fucking attitude for like the last 2 or 3 days.
I'm
Because,
leaving. That's rad.
because everything we do is making her feel worse. And we're like, it'll help. It'll help. Just take some fucking Panadol. It'll take the edge off the pain. No fucking what? It will. You just got to trust this. She's like, we've lost all trust with our child now. She's like, this is bullshit. Fucking medicine's a joke. Yeah. So that's been my
incredible.
fucking week. It's been my fucking week. I've just got a really fucking angry 3-year-old at home who's currently roid raging.
She's just lifting dumbbells like the whole time.
She's
Jacked.
no longer natty, and she's just fucking mad all the time.
That is a week, my friend.
Yeah, it's been a week. But yeah, how's your week been?
Not that
You were in
intense.
you were in Sydney again this week.
I
weren't you?
was. Yeah, so I had I head up to Sydney for work again for a day, 2 days. Bit of a
More,
last minute decision.
more meme workshops.
Yeah, not quite a meme workshop this time. So we had the founders, Adam and Belinda McDougall, come and spend a day with everyone. Sort of go through, because with it being a newish team, they were like, well, here's the story of how we came up with this and why we did it and what it means and the voice and all these different things. It was really good. So a lot of the stories I knew, obviously, from working with the Manshake for the longest time. But it was good to hear it in a bit more in depth. And sort of from a more business approach rather than a customer facing. Now, mind you, the principles are still very similar, which is nice. But that was cool. But yeah, so what else happened this week? Hung out with my kid. That was really cool. Got my hair did. Looks nice. Same haircut I always get. So I'm surprised. I'm not shocked you didn't know the difference. What else? So I have learned something this week though, Max.
Yeah.
So obviously my old job, surrounded by, my old job working in mental health and disability support services, where I was surrounded by neurodivergent people. And being neurodivergent myself, it's something it wasn't cool. It was rad. But then eventually, I was getting burned out by being surrounded by people that are also on, whether it be ADHD, or ASD or whatever spectrum of whatever, right? I was like, it grated on me originally. Now, I'm in my new job. I'm surrounded by normies all the time. And it's been really bizarre. I felt really sort of flat and out of place and not really clicking over the last couple weeks. And I just thought it was my old depression coming through again, which I think it totally is. But it was interesting. On Friday night, it was my housemate Andrew's birthday. So we went out for his birthday. So it was us, him, our work colleagues, our old work colleagues, a gamer, and all of their mates from Swordcraft, which is LARPing, right? So the neurodiversity level in that room was so fucking high. It was whoa, it was a lot. It was so much. However, what I learned is that I think that's what I've been missing. My life having not that intense or that frequent of neurodiversity or with my people has had a detrimental effect on me. Because with my current job, I enjoy it. It's great. But no one on the team is neurodiverse. It's just me. So I can't click with anyone. I can't connect with anyone. I am always a giant weirdo, but it feels super more prominent in this role. With this team, right? I feel I just can't connect with anyone. Not that I want to be friends with my colleagues. That's not what it's about. Because I'm a firm believer, they're your colleagues, they're not your friends. You can make friendships, you can be friendly, but I don't need my colleagues to be my friends. I don't need to talk to them outside of work, all those things. Don't need it. But I guess even working from home as well, plus that, it was something's off. I don't know what it is. And then on Friday we went out with a bunch of neurodiverse people, and there were moments where I was involved in a conversation, went for about 20 minutes on how awesome the Transformers is and why this, that, the other. It was fantastic. And then I got to spend 10 minutes blasting about Reboot and why it's one of the best, most important shows in my entire existence. And then we had a conversation about the psychology of porno. And then we did some, the idea, just the amount of conversation and just energy that I experience, and being the giant extrovert that I am, it weirdly refueled me. You couldn't wipe the smile off my face the entire night. Just being able to hear people fucking bullshit about all that stuff, and it just, because I said, I like my new job, I do, but I do miss my old job, and most because of the people and the clientele. It's, I guess that's what Gamer was built for, right? It was built for people who didn't have a place to find their place and to, be them. And yeah, and I guess I kind of, you know, didn't think I needed it in the same way our clients needed it. Turns out I did, and I still do. So now I'm gonna try to work out how the fuck I'm gonna get my that refill so I don't go crazy. Yeah.
Sounds like you need to go LARPing.
Well, that's what Ange said. They were like, "Well, why don't you go LARPing?" I went, "Oh, I don't think I'm there yet."
You're like, yeah, that's a bit too much.
Yeah. Is there somewhere in the middle? Something in the middle that I can do, right? Like, you know. But yeah, no, it's interesting because like you're a normie, so I guess you're like, well, I'm pretty sure you're a normie. I don't.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, look, okay. There's a thing. Obviously, there is this theory, right? That like, it's not based on any major science I'm aware of, but like, there's this understanding that like those that are neurodivergent, like because we see the world and experience the world with different wavelengths, we tend to like, you know, like attract each other, and like you literally realize that your entire friends group is fucked because you just all gravitated towards each other like a really fucking shitty magnet. So it's very likely, Max, you might be in there somewhere. It's how we get along so well. But yeah, I don't know. Does any of that make like any sense at all as I nearly fall over?
Part of me is like, you know, how much of this is rose tinted glasses, but I get it.
Well, like the work stuff, as in missing my old job, I think's rose tinted because that job fucking sucked most of the time. But I think the experience on Friday is a bit different.
I mean, all I heard is you went out Friday and didn't invite me, but whatever.
It was Ange. I had no call, but we went to 18th Amendment, which is this like rad bar.
I still haven't been there.
Ever. Oh, well, that's done. Next time we'll go again because like
I haven't been there.
They have like silly ass drinks. There was like one that was like a bathtub, and then okay, this is like the people that I was hanging around with. They're like, we need to go to 18th Amendment. It's 4 doors down. They have cool drinks. They have one that's in a bathtub. It tastes like shampoo, but in a good way. Like, that's a sentence I've never heard before. And you drink it, and sure enough, it kind of tastes like what you think shampoo should taste like, but not in the bad way. I drank a drink called the Thomas Edison, which came in a light bulb. So you drink it, and like there's a little flour thing that you eat, and you eat that, and then when you drink it, it gives this weird like acidic-y, bubbly sort of feeling in your mouth. So it feels like you've drank a battery. It's fucking insane place. And then like my partner Phoebe, she bought a drink that came in like a treasure chest. It was called the Boardwalk Empress, and you pop the top of it because they clearly pump it with like the fucking dry ice or whatever. So you pop it. It was very delicious too. Very expensive. It's very much either you go there at the beginning of the night or you're ending your night. Like, you start or end there. There's no options. You don't spend your whole night there because you're fucked. Be like, I've drank nothing but fucking shitty tap beer all night. Go to 18th Amendment, have an incredible cocktail, and you go, damn, that's good. Or you go, let's kick the night off with a bang. Awesome cocktail. Rad. Then you head out and do the rest. Those are options. But like maybe a social gathering like that is also something that I needed. So just for a data set, Max, we need to replicate it, and we do need to go out again.
Clear my schedule.
Yeah. But yeah, from a psychological standpoint, I think
well, he has no plans.
Yeah, he has no plans and like sick kids and shit. Imagine you telling your wife now, who's like what, X amount of months pregnant, other kid's full of roids, and you go, I'm going out. Sawyer.
Dude, I've started home drinking. She's like, really?
Oh, dude, how good's home drinking, eh? What are you home drinking?
Scotch and Coke.
Nice. I did do that. Like, I did pick up a couple like sort of slightly fancier whiskeys and bourbons over the last like couple months. So little sips on you, and then I'm like, oh, that's not bad. Good. What's your poison?
Well. At the moment, it's just Canadian Club.
Ah, okay, so.
I get like a ton of stuff in the cupboard.
Oh.
I got like half a bottle of Blue Ink gin in the freezer. Well, actually, we might have to do dinner soon anyway, since it's my birthday this week.
Hey, brah! But we have to.
So if I can be bothered organising something.
Come be the weekend because I got James, so we can't get rowdy.
Why can't James come out for the beers?
I suppose. That's a good point.
He's not an alcoholic. He can like...
Well, he can be a designated driver. He's fine. He's 6. He's got this.
He can mocktail it hard. sure he'd love a fucking drink in a bathtub that tastes like soap, but in a good way.
He probably would. I'm confident he's drank soap at some point, so it's slightly better than what he's done in the past.
Haven't we all?
Done a little bit here and there.
Not in the good way.
Not in the good way. Yeah, that's a little psychological sort of self-understanding that I've had over the last couple of days.
So, moving on, what have you been playing this week?
Oh, not much.
Have you gotten yourself into? Not much. Really?
No. Well, no, because look,
you were literally gaming right before we got.
Yeah, I did stream earlier today, but like the point I'm making,
really,
yeah, is like back to the extent, like I think it's an extension of what I was discussing before. Like I am kind of in that funk where like no game is really like, shit, I can't, and like I can't like just pull myself to fucking play. I just can't do it. Like I don't know what I'm doing with my time. Like a lot of it's just spending time with my partner and like watching TV and like, you know, and that's cool. But like, and like I certainly love it. But it's like it's weird that there's not part of me that's like, oh, I must play. You know. But yeah, that's why I'm pretty sure I'm in a funk right now because like nothing, like none of my passions are doing it for me, like at all. You know, which is interesting.
I mean, this is the last week for like 10 weeks where I'm not going to be talking about Baldur's Gate 3. It's just like everyone needs to mentally prepare themselves for like some mad D&D talk for like the next fucking 10 weeks.
As long as you're fucking bears or walruses or whatever that trailer said you could do.
Oh man, you have a bear fuck a vampire? You know that's might be a possibility.
Sick. But yeah, look, I said that nothing's really like drawing me, right? So I'm like, eh. What had I played? So I'm playing, like I said, because I'm sitting here at the computer. So I played a bit more Drug Dealer Simulator, as I have been, which actually runs unreasonably well on this computer, which is lovely. I jumped back into the Tekken CNT this weekend.
Ooh, me too.
However, I couldn't get a single fucking match again. How'd you go?
I got matches, but I'm clearly not in the right ranking.
Yeah.
So
did you get whooped? Did you whoop or did you do the whooping?
So when you first boot it up,
yeah,
it makes you fight a bot to determine how good you are at the game. And I fucking destroyed this bot. It's like, you are this rank. And then I played someone and got my ass absolutely handed to me and went, clearly I'm not. Clearly I should have tanked this fight with the bot so I could verse, like, noobs. So I played, like, 3 or 4 rounds. It takes a while to find a game.
It does.
Game's great, though.
Well, yeah, so Jay, obviously I spent all my thoughts about it last week. Like, where are you at with it?
So I haven't really played a Tekken game since...
It's 7.
Probably Tekken 3.
Holy shit.
It's probably the last one that I, like, really properly played.
Oh, fuck, I love Tekken 3.
So, a lot's changed.
Yeah.
The way the combo system works, even the way they display the combo system to you as you try and learn the combos, because they obviously each character has recommended pre-built combo type things. There's the new, well, what are new to me because I haven't played any of the newer games. They have like those burst modes attacks similar to that of like Street Fighter and whatnot. They've made them easier to use. It's just a single button press. When the heat gauge is fully active, but once you've used it once, you can never use it again. So you got to time it real well. You got to make sure it's worth the while, because if the enemy interrupts it, you just lose it forever. You can't use it again.
It's big risk reward.
So, yeah. So in some senses, the game's a lot more user friendly in its combo systems, and in other sense, they're way more complicated than they used to be when you're trying to do those bigger juggle combos. I was also missing my main character, so that was a bit bummer. Yoshimitsu was not in the demo. Brian was there, so I got to play as Brian. So that, you know, he's my backup guy.
Fun fact: so there was a bit of a data scrape of the CNT, and there was Yoshimitsu is in the back end. Eddie isn't, which is bullshit.
I mean, Eddie's been in one game. Yoshimitsu's been in every single one.
And he's been in other ones, I'm sure. But if not, he
Has
fucking should have been. Pretty sure it's in 7.
I don't know, maybe. Like I said, I literally haven't played it, like I properly played a Tekken game since Tekken 3. But again, like the visuals look stunning. From the little amount that I played, the game feels great. The hit detection's great. I think players have got the fighting game.
Correction. Eddie Gordo made his debut in Tekken 3 and returned for all subsequent installments. Eat a bumhole.
I did preface my comment of saying I haven't played a game since Tekken 3.
3, 4, 5 Dark Destruction, 6 Blood Run Rebellion, 7 Fated Retribution, and then Tekken Tag Tournament 2, Street Fighter X Tekken. Yeah.
Did he die in one of those games? Is that why he's not here in Tekken 8?
I don't know.
Anyway, the game's great.
Oh, look,
it
I'm
looks
focusing
stunning.
on the wrong part, all right?
It looks stunning. Fighting game enthusiasts are going to be very spoiled this year.
Yeah. Yeah. So how'd it work for you? Yeah, so like, are you overall like super happy fucking with it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Obviously you don't get to play much. There's no, you can't play versus a bot. You can't play versus a friend. It's literally online match-made games only. You can go into like the training mode and smack a bot while you're waiting for a game.
Yeah,
but overall, it's pretty bare bones.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a very small like experience. It's not quite like a full-blown demo. It's not even quite a beta. Like it's really interesting. Like that.
It's literally a network test.
Yeah, and like of all I've learned, the network fucking blows because like I couldn't get any matches. But like if they had like,
did you have crossplay enabled and all that?
Yeah, of course.
Did you open your matchmaking up a little bit
Yep.
as opposed to just I found that I had to open my matchmaking up a fair bit and
so it's like if it was like just regular online but not ranked, I think that would have been like we would have been able to have a better experience. But it is interesting why they've chosen to just do ranked. I don't know why.
ranked play, yeah.
But yeah, I certainly will be picking it up when it does release. Also, big thank you to the team over at Bandai Namco Australia for providing you an access code to the CNT.
Yeah,
I got mine.
I forgot like an idiot.
I got mine through the regular way, and then Max went, "Oh, I didn't get one," and then I emailed Bandai the day of and then they get a response. Then when it came back and said, "Hey, there's another one coming in. Here's your code." So they were able to hook Max up, which was nice. A big thank you to them.
Yes, huge shout out.
Yeah, outside of that, what else? I was playing, in recent enjoyment of various simulators, I did pick up, Brew Pub Simulator. Pardon me. So I spotted this in an email we got once, and I was like, that looks dumb. Tried to get a review code on Keymailer. They said no. I was like, alrighty. Then I still want to play it, so I'm going to buy it. So I did. So it's like in the extension of my like gas station simulator and my farming simulators and now my drug dealing simulators. This is what it's like to run a bar, essentially. You get a dilapidated old bar, you build it up, you fix it, you get to sell beers, but you get to brew beers as well, which makes it fun. So you get to sort of tweak it and dick around with it and be like, I'm going to make fancy pants beer. So I've been doing that. I'm really shitty at making beers, it seems. Like, I can make standard-ass beers, but the second they're like, ooh, can you add this little twist to it? I'm like, fucking nothing. Nothing. Because I dingus. It's fun, though. It's fun. But other than that, like, yeah, look, nothing is it. Literally nothing's getting me excited, like, at all. Like, my son's fucking shitting himself because this week they released some free DLC for Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. It's called Ruin. It's only on PS5 though, so he has to play it at my house because his house does not have PS5 and has PS4. But that also means we have to finish the main game before you can play the DLC. So,
how much of a bummer is that? We should also point out that we were provided a copy of Ratchet and Clank.
Oh yeah, on PC.
And we haven't played it yet.
No. So the thing that we're trying to work out at the moment is So for console, we have like a PopCulturist account, like a PopC account, right? And that's the one that we use. We put all our codes on there that allows Max and I to play them at the same time. We're trying to find out an equivalent for PC so that one of us isn't stuck only playing it. Because like I want to play.
Well, I think at the moment all our Sony Steam games are on my Steam account because at the time you had a garbage PC that wasn't going to run anything.
Yeah.
Now you do have a PC that will run all the things.
Yeah, and like I don't really want to
stuck on mine.
Like I don't want to like ask for review codes on like all of them, or buy them because like I just want to test them. I just want to give them like an hour and a bit. I just want to try them on the new rig, see how they run, see like am I noticing a difference compared to console. That's sort of the big dealio for me. So like going all out, like yeah, even if I just borrow your log in and go, oh cool, download, oh play for an hour and a bit. Now it was fun. That's kind of all I really want to do.
Yeah.
So if anyone knows how to make that work,
you got to look at the friends and family. It seems like you got to be on the same network, so we'll work it out.
Yeah, we'll suss it out.
We'll get it working.
Anything else you've been playing, Max?
Yeah, I've been playing Remnant 2.
Oh yeah,
so Remnant 2 is the latest game from Gunfire Games. It is the kind of pseudo sequel to, I think it was 2019's Remnant from the Ashes. So this is a cooperative third-person Souls-like game. So like a lot of ticking a lot of my boxes. Currently it's up to 3-player co-op. I'm playing it with one friend at the moment. I have put in about 30 odd hours since it launched. I pre-purchased it on PlayStation 5, paid for the deluxe edition, so I got a couple of days early access. The game is fantastic. The first one was great, but they really amped it up. So the story for this one is set, I think it's like 1,000 years or something like that after the events of the first game. So you're essentially in the same location. Ward 13 is the home hub, and once again the Root, which is the evil entity from the first game, is back. Turns out you only cleansed it from one world in the entirety of the multiverse, and it's fucking spreading everywhere else. So you go on a quest to help others fight back the Root. I've yet to roll credits on it. The game is entirely procedurally generated, so every playthrough will be different.
Sounds horrible.
All the dungeons are in different locations. Some events just don't ever spawn in. So they give you 2 modes of how to play the game. There's the campaign mode, and then there's what they call adventure mode. Adventure mode unlocks when you complete your first world. So adventure mode essentially just like you pick a level and you can play that level, and then when you're done with that level, you can either reset it and start again and try and get a different outcome for that level, or you can pick a new level to play. So it runs independently or exclusively from your campaign, so you can keep playing the campaign how you were playing, but you can duck out and farm for some gear in adventure mode, level up a little bit, see if you missed anything. For example, I started playing before I partied up with one of my friends, and we started in a completely different world to where I started on my solo run. So it's been really interesting playing. The gameplay is great. Again, it's a third-person over-the-shoulder shooter. It's a class-based shooter as well, so each class has their own set of unique skills, unique perks. The difference between this and the first game is you can now run a secondary class once you reach a certain level. So you can have 2 sets of perks, 2 sets of skills, which kind of changes up gameplay a little bit, because it allows you to, you don't have to be the dedicated healer. You can be a healer and have damage now because of the perks that you roll on your second class, which is awesome.
Nice.
It does give you a little bit more freedom to play. You're not kind of shoehorned into the one role that you pick at the very start of the game, which is great. It's got those big bombastic Souls-like boss fights, which are awesome. The story is pretty crazy. But it does. I'm at what I'm perceiving to be the very end of the game. I think I'm literally at the final boss on my solo playthrough. It's currently handing my ass to me. I might need to go back and farm for some gear and upgrades at the moment because I'm just getting absolutely clobbered.
Okay.
But it's been really fun. Matchmaking's pretty simple. If they're on your friends list, they can just join your game if you have a set of friends. There's public matchmaking if you want to go help out others. The gameplay's pretty good. Depending on your connection, though, it can be quite rough because it is a Souls-like game. If you're not perfect with your dodging, that little bit of lag can like fuck you up hard.
Well, that seems pretty like frustrating, inconvenient when you're working with online matchmaking, etc.
Yeah. So it hasn't been too bad when I'm playing with my friend because obviously he's in Sydney, we're in Victoria. There's not too much latency issues, but you can notice if you're playing with someone overseas. The game's good fun. I haven't finished it yet, but so far I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, it's really turned everything up from the first title. It looks better. It runs better. It's got 3 performance modes on console, on PS5 anyway. It looks good. There's the balance, which is I run at a flat 60 frames per second, and then they have an uncapped frame rate and they just lower the graphic ends. So I'm playing in balanced. 60 frames is fine. It looks great. Plays well. Really digging it.
That's good. Well, because I know that was one that you were like quite keen for.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it for a while because I originally played the first one way back when because it came to the Epic Game Store as a free game. And I'm like, oh, what's this? And we tried it out. And then, when I saw the trailer for Remnant 2, I'm like, this is mad. Definitely getting this. And we picked it up day one. So
Nice.
It's been great.
Very nice. Well, I'm glad you're getting a kick out of it. That's what I wish I had.
Pretty much all I've been playing. Like I said, I put like 30 hours into it since like Tuesday night.
Damn, that's actually genuinely impressive.
With a sick kid and a game that can't be paused, it's very.
It's a risky decision.
It is.
Excellent. All right, well, that's enough of that. We've played many games, which is exciting. Well, at least you have. Well, let's get into what else happens this week in the news. And we call Inform the Players. We tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation.
So this week in PlayStation, we got some sales figures. So PlayStation boss Jim Ryan has announced that more than 40 million PlayStation 5 consoles have now been sold since its release in November 2020. With any PS5 stock issues have now been completely rectified, Ryan says, quote, with the support of PlayStation fans, we have reached a milestone of 40 million PS5 consoles sold through to gamers since launch. Thank you so much to our community of gamers. Without you, this would have been an impossible task. The latest update on these numbers was back in February of this year with the December sales numbers, and they were at 31.5-ish million. So they've sold around 8.5 million consoles this year.
Yeah. So this is rad and a very interesting question, especially off the back of the recent court case things with Microsoft, like, because we're looking at almost a ratio here. It's like 2-1, maybe even 3-1. PlayStation's versus Xboxes in the wild, or at least owned. So it's very interesting, and so that that is digital and disc based. Because Mute in the chat asked any difference between sales of digitals and disc. Well, at the moment they are selling through the disc versions at on sale, I believe, because the idea being there is the disc. The presumption is that disc version's coming, the one with the detachable disc drive. So they're just clearing out all the old units now so they can get move into that. It is interesting that they're moving so many units. That part's great. The second part is obviously, it's dominating, but like Microsoft are getting trounced. Simple as that. Good for better or worse, we're yet to decide. But And then it does make you wonder, like, how far into the future will this go? Like, what's the numbers we're going to end up with? You know what I mean?
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, like, I'm very excited to see, to see what the future holds. Like, are we going to hit 100? I don't think we'll ever get to, like, PS2 numbers or whatever. But when we're looking at, what's it, like 40 million in 3 years, get another 3 years out of it. Would you get 40 million again? Who knows? But if the ratio is as good as they say it is, it's very likely.
Depends on if these PS5 Pros are true, how many people upgrade.
Well, that's the one thing as well. Like, will people be wanting to get into a PS5 Pro in this time? Like, once again, we should all specify that these numbers...
depends on this global financial crisis that's happening currently.
Yeah, that too. But with Microsoft, right, they've got the two consoles, right? They've got the Series S and the Series X, with the idea being the Series S is the more affordable, easy pick-upable one. Apparently not so much. So, like Max, I get, like, now, granted, we're on a PlayStation where we make a PlayStation show, so grain of salt in everything that we say, of course. But I do, like, why do you think we are looking at such a disparity between the two? Like, why is the PlayStation more appealing?
I mean, the obvious answer is exclusives, but the other answer is some people were PlayStation people before Xbox even existed, and they will always be Sony people. And to play with their friends, they convince them to get Sonys instead of Xboxes. A lot of those yearly games, we'll see what happens after this merger occurs. But for the last few years, all those annualized games like Call of Duty, the biggest seller arguably every single year, have just had better deals on PlayStation. It's get content first on PlayStation, get this first on PlayStation, get that first on PlayStation. So people are like, I don't want to wait. Gonna buy a PlayStation.
Okay.
Like, it really does hold more sway, I think, than what people give it credit for.
And I do think, like, I agree with you, because obviously there were some marketing deals around the likes of Call of Duty, etc. And a lot of it is stemmed from a bunch of different places I've seen. So you've got, the idea of, like, once one becomes the prominent console, like, everyone will want that one. So once that ball started rolling, like, it was going to happen, sort of thing. So there's not much they could do there. So a lot of it is, it's already, I can't think of the right word, but it's already in the wild. So, like, oh, I need to get a console. What should I get? What do all my friends have? Oh, most of them have a PlayStation. I will get a PlayStation. And then that just perpetuates that cycle.
That's it.
And I do think, exclusives play somewhat of a role. Mostly because Microsoft at the moment have not released any major ones of note in their first party platform. Excluding individuals that they've bought.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Starfield's going to be a big kicker come the back end of the year. But they've already talked about how they're not expecting a lot of sales numbers around Starfield because it's on Game Pass. So it's a tough one. So you've got good deals, a more popular console, and exclusives. Like, yes, it doesn't have Game Pass, but it's interesting how, like, you think that should be...
I mean, to a degree, it kind of does now.
Well, it's one of those things, like, because you've got... So Game Pass is brilliant from a dollar perspective. Like, cut in the short term, yes. The Xbox is more readily available as far as I'm aware. I've never seen... There's rarely have I ever, like, especially in the last 6 months, there's a high chance I'm seeing Xboxes on shelves and PlayStations. So they're more readily available. Game Pass, in theory, is better. Why in our own anecdotal experience, are we not seeing Xbox do well? It's very confusing. It's not confusing. It's just interesting.
I mean, mine's currently a glorified DVD player.
Yeah. Why don't you watch DVDs on your PlayStation?
because the PlayStation is hooked up to monitors and the Xbox is the console that gets moved around.
Oh, okay. So you've actually moved it off your desk now.
It is technically on my desk at the moment. It's currently downloading some stuff, but this is the first time I've used it in probably months.
Oof.
Yeah. I actually just finished paying it off.
Yeah. Speaking of exclusives, though, Mute in the chat asks, did you guys manage to get Spider-Man 2 covers for PS5? I did not. I was able to get a controller. So I was on my way to the airport, like it's almost identical to the time that the collector's edition came. I was on my way to the airport, so I was able to secure a controller, but I couldn't get the plates because it was just trying to do the both at the same time was a hot mess. But I do wish I had them.
In typical fashion, they set the hour of release at 10 a.m. when I'm like asleep. Yeah. So I didn't get either. I was contemplating getting a controller, but yeah. Yes,
as I discussed last week, I got the controller for my kid. So when he comes over to my place, he can play with his controller, which will be designated. The plates would have been cooler, but my console is under a shelf anyway. Like, I wouldn't see it. I love the idea of it. I'm bummed that I didn't get it. I might hunt for it later, but I'm not too worried. Something I did watch, though, while I was on my flight this week was Twisted Metal. So Twisted Metal dropped this week on Stan here in Australia, or at Peacock if you're in the US. And the details you've got here, Max. So it's currently sitting on a 65% critic score with a 92% audience on the... Is this the Metacritic or the Rotten Tomatoes? Or
this is the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes.
It is a certified fresh, apparently. Ooh. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. So I've watched 2.5 episodes. So my thoughts on it so far is it's actually not bad. It's not brilliant. It's no intense drama like The Last of Us, but it is still weirdly good. Anthony Mackie is fine. Like, it's written well. Sweet Tooth is interesting. Like, it's very jarring knowing that it's it's Restless Samoa Joe's body with what's his fuck Will Arnett doing the voice. So there's a little bit of a and there's the chick that plays angry Spanish bird from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
The main
Diaz. The woman from plays Diaz. I was
gonna say the main character from Encanto.
Yeah. She's good in it. The bad guy, like, it's interesting at the moment. So 2.5 episodes in, like, the presumed bad guy being Sweet Tooth isn't. It's another guy. So essentially the premise of the story of the show is that 20 years ago some fucking virus dropped and Stephanie Beatrix says Reverend Puck in the chat. Thank you, Puck, being the forever fact checker. So 20 years, a big virus wipes out a bunch of tech, so there's not much. But the only thing that consisted is guns and cars and shit. So
it's Mad Max.
Yeah, it is very Mad Max. It's straight Mad Max. Even down to Anthony Mackie's character. His name's John Doe. He got some sort of head trauma. Doesn't remember who he is. All he remembers is that he woke up in his car with blood coming out of his head. He has his car, which is named Evelyn. And they are what's referred to as a milkman. So they deliver between all the settlements. So all the major cities, and when everything went brutal, they built ginormous walls around the cities or the towns, kicked all the criminals out, and just to try keep shit in town. So his job is delivering shit to shit, and he gets paid in fuel and like gimmicks and whatever he needs at the time. He's then approached by a woman who is like, yo, I need you to deliver something to New Chicago because they're in the West Coast. Chicago's on the East Coast. She has to drive across the entire state of the United States. Entire country of the United States, I should say. And by doing so, you can live inside the walls with us here. Right? Cool. There's your deal. So he's incentivized to go off and do some gallivanting, and chaos ensues. Like,
how many episodes is it?
10?
10?
Let me quickly pull up Stan and have a look. As I said, yeah, I downloaded 2, but the flight not being super long from Sydney to Melbourne, I was able to get 2 and a bit in.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just see. So one of the things that we weren't, because they talked about it being like a comedy, and like it is, in that like, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 episodes. You were correct. I was correct. We were correct. So like there's a lot of that wittiness in there as well, and some of it feels really out of place. Some of it's pretty good. Like I didn't like laugh out loud, but I got a couple of chuckles. There's a bit of violence. The car action isn't as rad or as intense as I think it could be, but it's fine. It's good. It's all right. I would like to think about it to more as because like interestingly though, the main premise, the main story is compelling enough to make me want to watch the next episode. I didn't watch one and went, I'm not watching any more of this. I went, all right, let's see where this goes next. Let's see where this goes next. Let's see where this goes next. And like, yeah, weirdly, I'm intrigued to see where the story is going. So that is at least something, right? So like the audience score, I think's fine because it is kind of like, I can certainly see why it's not a very high critic score because I don't think it's a very critically like, like well-made, well-produced show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not brilliant, but like, it's very easily digestible popcorn TV. So hence why the audience score is higher, because audience scores are higher for things that tend to don't make you think. So, hopefully I'll watch some more of that. We're not going to do more of the players or anything on it because we didn't think it was going to be that appealing. Totally proved that it wasn't. But I'll be keen for you to see what your thoughts are, Bax.
Yeah, I'll most likely dive into it this week as I'm about to wrap up Ted Lasso.
Oh,
I've watched 2.5 seasons in the last 4 days.
Have you cried? I've heard it's very, very good.
It's real good. Yeah. It's good.
Nice. Oh, got roid rage noise?
Yeah, I'll be back in a second.
No worries. In that case, I'll jump into the next story, which is PS Plus news. So, we discussed, it was a week or two ago, about PlayStation Plus games for those that hit the premium and deluxe tier. It's now time to get into the essential tier, which is the base tier. So if you sign up at any, these are the ones you get free this month. Free, quote unquote. Alright, so PS Plus Central games have been announced for August. They are PGA Tour 2K23 on your PS5 and your PS4, Dreams for PS4, and Death's Door for PS5/PS4. Excuse me. Alright, so personally, I love PGA Tour. I love golf games. I don't know why. I find golf games are incredibly calming. So that's pretty cool. I do already own it though, so it's very disappointing. I own all 3 of these games personally. Death's Door is a great little roguelite Metroidvania sort of game. 2.5D came out back end of 2021. Excuse me. It was my indie game of the year at the time because I really got a good kick out of Death's Door. Max hasn't finished it. It was on his backlog challenge for 2022, which we never followed that up, by the way. And Dreams. Dreams, the big game out of Media Molecule. Interesting things over the last couple of weeks, especially around their licensing agreements where you can now actually distribute some of your work, mostly because they're shutting down all the servers for Dreams, which is interesting that they're releasing it now. I think this is sort of a last hurrah for Dreams, really, where they'll throw it out and go, hey, this is your now, go see all the awesome stuff everyone made before you can never really fuck with it again. For Premium Deluxe tiers, though, they did also add a 4-hour trial for The Witcher 3. Excuse me. So, with the new season of The Witcher, a new half season, which is coming out this week, it's great timing. So, if you ever wanted to experience The Witcher 3 but not pay all the cash, I'm pretty sure it's cheap most days. Yes, you can get 4 hours with it on your PS Plus subscription. On the upcoming PS5, also as part of upcoming the PS Pluses, whatever, you'll be getting Sea of Stars. So this game has recently gone gold ahead of its August 29th release date. There is a demo available now, and it's also releasing on Game Pass on the exact same day, which is interesting and fascinating. So Sea of Stars is... Oh, shit, I did know the studio. Oh, what have they done? I don't remember now. Let me pull up over here. Sea of Stars. Let's see. It's made by Sabotage. I forget. Oh, what was the other game they did? Oh, The Messenger, of course. Yeah. So they did The Messenger. That's a big one. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. It does look pretty cool. Like, our good friend Buddy is the one that brought it to my attention. And, Buddy and I have very different tastes in games, but I do like a good buddy game when I can. So I'd be keen to check out Sea of Stars. Now, Max, we're just discussing how Death's Door was on your backlog challenge list of 2022, which none of us ever did anything with. I finished at least one of mine. You didn't do any of it. I didn't get my thing. We didn't get our deals, our prizes. You're muted.
Yeah, there we go. That was a bold strategy. I considering the fact that I've owned Death's Door since its release.
Yeah.
When it was an Xbox exclusive, still haven't gotten around to finishing it. Yeah. Sea of Stars, however, played the demo.
Sorry, Chef's Kiss. The noise gate cut out your Chef's Kiss noise.
Oh yeah, Chef's Kiss. I played it as part of Steam's Next Fest demo section. Friend of the show, Paul James. He's like, how is this not on your radar for August? Because at the time, Remnant was my only August game, and Baldur's Gate. He's like, you should check this out. There's a demo now. Go check it out. So, knowing that that's now coming day and date to PlayStation Extra, very excited.
It's premium. Yeah, the middle and top tier. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Speaking of fucking games that we played. I also jumped on a preview for Gunbrella. Remember we played that at PAX?
Oh, yeah.
So I had a bit of a preview of that. That was good shit. That game's great. Still good. Only coming to PC and Switch at the moment. So that was a bit of a bum, but good game. Are you a golf fan? Would you care about returning to Dreams? One of the first streams you and I ever did was Dreams.
Dreams was cool. It's a shame that as of September, I don't think they're supporting it anymore. It is not only is it a PlayStation Essential game for this month, it's also going to the extra and deluxe tiers as of the 15th of August. So it'll be available as part of the catalog. It's cool, but they've moved on to whatever their next thing is. Trent or Temu or
who knows
something. It's called something.
Yeah, I haven't molecular them.
Yeah. Should we talk about Scalpers? It's been a while.
It's been a while.
So we mentioned this earlier about earlier this week. Spider-Man 2 PlayStation 5's plates and controllers went on sale. In typical fashion, Scalpers got in quick, with current resale listings upwards of $200 plus for just the plates alone.
Oof. Well, you remember before when I said, I can hunt. I don't need them that bad.
Nah, that's ridiculous.
I got my controller. But Scalpers are fucked.
Well, let's keep with the Spider-Man news. Let's talk about Puddlegate 2.0.
Sure, it's good.
So the recent Comic-Con trailer is what seems to have gotten a vocal minority all fired up, necessitating comment from Insomniac's Director of Community and Marketing, James Stevenson. Stevenson cleared things up on Twitter, confirming, quote, "Nope, it's the same face model, the same actress," end quote, referencing Mary Jane in-game. On Reddit, fans have put MJ's debatably altered vibe down to the haircut and wardrobe change.
It's haircut.
And have theorized that perhaps the power of the game's new lighting engine is causing people to perceive the character differently.
But the thing is, because this is on the back of them just changing Peter's fucking face. Went from the first guy with his big honking eyebrows to the more Tom Holland looking bastard of the remasters. So like there's a precedent there for them to change the face. So their doubt is it good in good reason. I don't care enough. I don't really care enough about Mary Jane to warrant her. She was the worst part of the previous games. Let's hope I don't have to play her in the new one. All right, let's keep things going on that Spooderman run, though, Max. So during Comic-Con's Insomniac Games panel, they were show off Marvel Spider-Man 2, but it also gave us our first proper look at Venom. Venom being the symbiote, because, obviously Miles Morales has his Venom powers, so not that. This is Venom the symbiote. The anti-hero is set to be a key part of the story in the sequel, as we saw from the original trailer, where we see his face come out of the darkness. And he's so beloved that it's important that the studio get it right. So, what does Todd McFarlane, one of the character's creators, make of his interpretation? In a video with IGN, Todd was asked this exact question. In short, he gives Insomniac's version of Venom the thumbs up. He says what he looks for with Venom is the intimidating size and gnarly teeth, which we're definitely getting in the game. McFarlane's also a fan of the bold spider design on his chest, but is less enthusiastic about the long tongue. The aspect of Venom's look came later through Eric Larson. But anyway, McFarlane says he looks, quote, badass and vicious, commenting that Insomniac, quote, did a nice job making him feel like a monster, end quote. So, seal of approval achieved. We're sure that the dev team's feeling's good about that. See, the tongue thing is, something that was added to him later. Yeah. Oh, I'm fucking keen. I said I bought the big honking collector's edition statue. Like, I want to see it. It's sick. Cool. More Venom. And, like, that shot of him is cool. And, like, apparently in the console... Heads up if you watch the console reveal trailer. There's a little bit of a potential story tease in there. I've not watched this trailer. Mostly because I am going to a little bit of that media blackout. In that I want to play the game... if anything from the first one, we learned they just fucking laid everything out on the table, spoilers and all. So I'm just going to be patient and wait. Where are you at with Spoods?
About the same. I watched the trailer that was part of the Sony showcase, and I've watched nothing since.
Yeah. I'm going to give it that way. I'm going to be like, all right, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to enjoy it. But that's it. That's all I say. Excuse me. Apparently I'm really tired.
Right. Quick biddies. Armored Core 6 is apparently 5 times longer than previous games, looking at about 60 hours.
Big honking previews come out in the last 2 weeks. What's your thoughts? Because you were pretty keen.
I'm still pretty keen.
Yeah.
It comes out on the back end of August. I'm still pretty keen.
It's from Soft, isn't it?
It is. Over 100 layoffs at CD Projekt Red amid organizational changes. About 10%, just shy of 10% of their workforce, apparently.
Brutal.
Payday 3 closed beta, skipping PlayStation 5 in favor for PC and Xbox.
That's a bit poo. I love Payday. I really like Payday 2. Never had a full team to play with. Bit shitty. But we'll have to have a chat to the team over at PlayOn. Maybe we can get some PC codes.
Lara Croft, Nicki Minaj, Snoop Dogg, and 21 Savage are all joining Call of Duty as playable characters.
Okay. Why not?
Dying Light studio Techland, set to be acquired by Tencent, will keep ownership IPs and creative rights.
Yeah, so Tencent will own
Tencent
the
are buying a majority share.
Yeah, they're not buying the company; they're just buying the majority share. So Tencent seems to be doing what they have been doing, which is just investing in a stack of companies, but also not, it's still a point of concern, same as Tencent or the Saudi investment fund. All that's not good. But yeah.
And lastly, Final Fantasy Fan Fest happened in Vegas this weekend. They announced a new expansion, Dawn Trial, coming next year in 2024, and they have also increased the free trial to include the Stormblood expansion. So you now get 3 expansions as part of your free trial for the online MMO.
Apparently, it's coming to the Xboxes
Coming
in
to Xbox.
2024.
Yep, with the launch of Dawn Trial.
Oh, pants, pants. Or you can't get to the crack.
I'm now an expansion. I'm now an expansion behind. I don't have the time anymore.
And knowing that it's your weakness.
Yep.
It's probably not a good idea. But here are the upcoming titles for this week. We have the most Betson lineup in the fucking world. VR Skater coming to PS5 August 4th. So VR skateboarding game. That's weird. And WrestleQuest coming to PS5 and PS4 on August 4th. So Betson games all round. Yeah.
That's the big one that stands out to you this week.
WrestleQuest. WrestleQuest.
Did you end up playing the demo?
I did play the demo and it was fun. It's very, very cool. Very, very interesting. I'm keen to see what comes out of it. But anyways, big thank you to everyone for checking out the show. We appreciate you spending the time. Hopefully you do every week or infrequently. And whenever you do, time is the most precious thing we have in this world. So it's very kind of you to choose to share that with us. Max, send them home.
Everybody, this PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, come and check out our socials. Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and X. Still dumb. All those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/PopCultures where you can watch us record this show live. We can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening to us on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you watch us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. And if you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/PopCulturists, as well as our merchandise store, popculture.com/shop. We can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that is For the Players.
What a fucking joke. Apparently Bluey didn't win Best Children's TV at the Logies.
What the fuck? What won instead?
I don't know. Not Bluey.
Well, that's disgusting. Disgusting. The Logies have always been a piece of shit. And they just proved it.